know where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. BetOnline remains your number one source for all your college basketball betting this season. Get analysis of every play, prop, and point at BetOnline. You'll find the latest odds, bracket contests, team matchups, and game trends at BetOnline. Updated odds for everything from live games, the conference championships, right through the Final Four and championship game. BetOnline is your college basketball headquarters this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to sign up and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Be sure to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your bonus. BetOnline.AG, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary tight end Justyn Dunn. JD, how we doing, buddy?
What's up, my man? How's it going? How is it going? Another week as the world turns, as the Chief Kingdom turns. Another week. Some things in the news, things that's going on. But I'm doing well. I'm doing well, actually. I'm kind of getting excited because we're getting closer to the draft. You know, every week it's like, oh my goodness. And I plan on getting out that way for the draft for this year. It's going to be an exciting time. It's going to be an exciting time. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. What about yourself? What's been going on?
Nothing much, man. Just, getting ready for this. Getting ready to probably be disappointed if we don't get DeAndre Hopkins. So, I'm just sitting here and see all these reports. I'm like, okay, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But, in Marcus world, everything's well. I got my flag football league. Cobra Kai is back this Sunday.
Yeah, boy, I've been seeing you on Instagram doing your thing. I love it. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it, man. Yeah, you know what it is when y'all take the video and when the guys score, and it's just like looking at just like, shaking their head like we just killing them. What do you want us to do? We're just so good. What do you want us to do? Huh? We can't help ourselves. I love it. I absolutely love it, man. More people need to see you all, what y'all do out there for the flag football. Y'all are, kicking butt, man, taking names for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a redemption season for us. We lost in the championship last time we were on the field together. So it's a redemption season for us. And the funny thing is, it's the most amount of teams that ever have signed up for this league in a while. Okay. And our schedule, we looked at today, we're not playing the defending champs. Like they're on the other side of the bracket. So we don't play them during the season. So I think most of the teams that we're playing are like new to the league. So usually those new guys, the newcomers, it's gonna be right. It's gonna be rough for them. It's gonna be a cake regular season for us. So we're looking forward to it.
I told you this before, and you said like, JD, why don't you come up and play the flag football? I would like to come up there playing a game. Do y'all have that? Do y'all have guys who can come in and just play one day with you all?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, our league's pretty. They're only strict with it when it comes to playoffs. Once playoffs, that's a funny thing. So playoffs, they're strict with it. Well, they'll check IDs to make sure they match your roster. Okay. That's only if the opposing team will call out another team. So last spring we were in the semifinals only because it's 5-on-5. Yeah. It was hot. It was hot as heck. We only had 5 guys come that day. We had to play a doubleheader. We had to play the semifinals and then the championship. Semifinals came. The one team we're playing against had 10 dudes, and I'm like, I haven't seen any of those guys over there all season. And we only had 5 guys, and I was like, dude, we're not gonna be able to do this. So I go to the referee. I'm like, I want an ID check on this. I want an ID check.
There you go. Get on the Marcus.
Sure. Yeah, I was wrong. Apparently, all those guys were on their team. And so
they just weren't coming. They were, they were probably doing something else. Like, hey man, I can't come today. Maybe that's what it was.
Exactly. And then the funny thing was, they ended up because we did to them. They ended up doing an ID check on us. I was like, dude, we have 5 guys. I guess sure. Well, yeah. Well, here's your ID. But It can be petty sometimes down the DC National Mall fields.
Well, that's why they had you check your ID, because you check theirs. Like, yeah, well, check his. Make sure they are. Maybe that's what it is. They doing projected on us, right? Things that they getting wrong. But
yeah, we'd love to have you as a celebrity substitute. We'd love to have Jason Dunn come in.
Okay, awesome. So maybe you just have to add me onto the roster. That way, you make it official. When it comes championship time, I can run up a couple jokers, man.
I know you can. we get some Cobra Kai clips of me throwing a fade route to you.
Yeah, yes sir.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So before we get into the episode tonight, we have a special giveaway, which we teased on our YouTube post. So on our Twitter account, we have been sharing at Spector_arts newest Mahomes masterpiece. It's called Showtime. It's a beautiful piece of work. And he is going to do a giveaway along with Chief Concerns. And so there's 3 easy steps, and all you need to do is retweet the post that will be on Twitter tomorrow. And also you have to follow Chief Concerns and at Spector_art. We'll have all that information in the tweet that you'll tweet tomorrow. And then lastly, subscribe to our channel. Anybody who's watching this, obviously subscribe to our channel already. And if you are listening to this, subscribe to the channel, because on our episode on April 6th, we will announce the winner of the giveaway at the end of our episode. So you got to watch the whole thing in order to get to the end of the episode in order to find out who's the winner. So yeah, subscribe to the episode, retweet the post, and then follow Chief Concerns and Spector Art on Twitter. And it's awesome. It's a beautiful piece. I'm gonna have it right here. As you can see, that picture is amazing. So yeah, it's definitely a nice piece of work. The funny thing is, the guy's an Eagles fan, and he's drawing the pictures of Mahomes. I guess he couldn't resist after that Super Bowl loss. He had to draw the masterpiece that is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, look, but you're gonna at least. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Want to do something as an artist where you still have a lot of respect for the opposing quarterback, especially a guy like Patrick Mahomes. And so, if somebody has not seen this picture, man, it's a phenomenal job by this guy. I mean, he did a really, really wonderful job. And so, hats off to him, man. He's very talented, and that is a fire picture.
Yeah, and he also said he'll plan to do another giveaway with us towards the beginning of the regular season. So if you don't win this time, you can have a chance to winning it during the regular season. And also, if you just want to go ahead and get the piece because you like it so much, we'll have his information on the tweet that you guys can retweet tomorrow. And also, JD, because he's a Philadelphia guy, so he made this amazing 76ers mural with like Dr. J, Embiid, Iverson, Aaron McKee.
Man.
All the guys, Moses, everybody on this.
You got Barkley in there?
Yeah, he's got Barkley in there as well. Yeah,
I was going to say, okay, yeah.
I think
Cheeks.
Mo Cheeks, Doug Collins also in there. Billy Cunningham.
Maxwell. He got Mad Max in there?
I don't know, actually. I don't think so.
He
has. I mean, he goes back with it. So I mean, it's
okay.
It's a beautiful piece. I think I saw on his Twitter account. He painted that same painting on a mural at someone's indoor basketball court. Look beautiful.
Oh my goodness, I got to check it out. You got to send it to me.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's awesome. But yeah, and also I don't know how many other Chiefs and 76ers fans are there out there. He also has that 76ers painting on his website too, so you guys can definitely go check that out. But here we go. So now it's time for Chief Concerns. So we begin tonight with our weekly DeAndre Hopkins update.
D-Hop is an elite guy.
You and I would want to go with DeAndre Hopkins right away.
It makes sense to go get D-Hop.
We lost Juju. We lost Hardman. Those are veteran guys.
Yeah.
Bring him in. D-Hop. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock. They trade their 4th round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. Could you imagine the pandemonium going on in there?
D-Hop. That's what I would want. Shoot, why would I'm like, hey, D-Hop. Before you even name anybody else, D-Hop.
So since our last show, things have gotten a little interesting and I would say exciting. So I'm going to go down a little timeline here, JD. So recently, Des Bryant took to Twitter, as he usually does, and he tweeted, I wouldn't be surprised if Odell or D-Hop go to the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if both guys go to the Chiefs. A newly acquired defensive end, our guy, Charles Amenahu, who also played with DeAndre Hopkins in Houston, tweeted at DeAndre saying, "Come on, fam, we waiting on you." Hashtag Chiefs Kingdom. And then that same night, this is where it gets weird. Mahomes actually liked both tweets, and there's always these Twitter sleuths who are always on looking at people's likes all the time. I don't know who has time for this, but people are Mahomes' likes, and he liked Dez's tweet, and he also liked Charles's tweet. He ended up deleting his like on the Dez tweet, but he left the Charles one up. So it's like, so maybe not the OBJ one, but he maybe like the D-Hop one.
Right.
So as of right now, Vegas has the Chiefs as the third highest odds to get DeAndre Hopkins, behind Arizona at number 1 and New England number 2. But then a little while ago, Albert Breer, NFL Insider, wrote, Chiefs have shown interest in both Hopkins and Beckham. He also said DeAndre Hopkins is not a consideration for the Patriots at this moment.
Yeah.
JD, lot to take in there. What do you think about everything that has transpired since our last episode?
Dude, it's and I've seen a couple of these tweets. I've seen the one Des Bryant put out. I had no idea that Patrick Mahomes liked it, and he had to take it away. But what is there not to like? What is there not to like about something like that, right? As a quarterback, you're sitting there thinking that you're gonna get 2 premier wide receivers, free agents in here, right? Or at least DeAndre out there in Arizona, possibly getting a deal done with him, maybe a trade deal. What is it not to like? What is it not to like? I was just, what I was doing? I was going back and I was looking at what Patrick Mahomes, the guys he had to throw to when he made the Super Bowl, and all the Super Bowls he was in, the guys he had to throw to that was in the room, right? If he was able to get DeAndre Hopkins, okay, and you got MVS, Scott Moore, Kadarius Toney, Justyn Ross, John Ross, okay, you have all these guys and playing with Travis Kelce. Man, come on. Without a doubt, you're immediately looking at being at the top of one of the best wide receiving core that Patrick played with. Okay, and I'm talking about pure receivers. I'm not talking about, like, we understand the ability of Tyreek Hill, what he gave here, what he was able to do, Mecole and all those guys during that time. But we're talking about somebody like DeAndre Hopkins, who has been one of the premier wide receivers in this league in the last 10 years. Having him in the room, Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to him, it will just be an amazing, amazing time in Chiefs history to have a guy like that here, that talent. And the same thing with OBJ. OBJ, look, and I'm not opposed to OBJ. OBJ is a very talented guy. I know people, was kind of put off because they was thinking he was asking for $20 million, whatever the market was. Right now, we know nobody's paying that money for wide receivers, just not. And especially a guy that's been out of football because of, ACL injuries. And so that is a concern for the guys here, of course, with OBJ. But if you were able to get, which I know Dez is saying it, but I don't see it happening, getting both DeAndre Hopkins here and OBJ. I don't still see how you could do that. But get one of the guys here. Obviously, our first choice, and I'm saying this, and we know we've been blowing the horn on this from day one, is getting D-Hop, trying to make that deal done. And so now this is encouraging news to hear that, hey, we're in the hunt. We're thinking about, we're the third, I guess they pick, like Vegas or whatever you sit there and said, on coming here to Kansas City. I still think there's a pathway to it to get to something like that done. It may take some time. These things do take time. When you developing a championship team like Veach and Andy is doing, it takes some time. It's going to take some collateral damage, right? We know, what do you have to do to work out people's restructured contracts. We know Pat was able to give some things back, restructured his contract. We gave him some more as far as money straight to his, to his pocket. But these are things, man, we could definitely work out. I see it. And I've been talking about this all this time, that D-Hop is a guy that you need when you're trying to establish a dynasty, to win a championship. Go get a guy and a talent like that. So it's encouraging news, man. I like it. I do. I like every bit of it.
So when you say a lot of people are kind of, some people are saying Dez just wants to be a part of the news at all points. He just wants to be his name thrown out there, which I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit, but Dez has a relationship with both these guys. I think 2 weeks ago, Dez was with DeAndre Hopkins. Dez has been, friends with OBJ for a while. Do you think he's hearing anything? And do you think there is something when he says, "Oh, the Chiefs should go after these guys"? Do you think it's like he knows something? Because some people are saying it's just speculation. He's BSing people.
Well, it's speculation, but I'm sure, same thing like the guys are. OBJ is sitting there thinking like, look, man, these are teams that's been out here. They had a list of guys that watched him in his workout in Arizona. D-Hop, the same thing. He knows, what all the grumblings are out here, who's talking about who's getting him, who's not. He's going to be traded, is he not? What are they willing to give up to get a guy like that, him there? And so Dez, he's talking to these guys. He's like, man, what do you hear? What do you think? He's like, man, you know what? The deal out here may happen. But obviously, like business, they like, look, they got to have enough money for me. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to be able to be. But I'm sure a lot of it, man, is just all these conspiratorial theories and people putting things. Man, look, they're trolling. They're having fun with this. Dez is having fun with it. D-Hop is having fun with it. OBJ is having fun with it. And so it's good because you keep everybody guessing during the off season, right? And so this is like a play thing for them. It's an old guessing game. Yeah. We just made it to a full game. Everybody's wondering what's going to be the next move, right? What's going to be the next move? So I just, I like it. I actually like it. I like the guys kind of playing this game because it's keeping everything kind of fresh. It's keeping things, inquisitive. You're just wondering like, okay. But, at the end of the day, man, I've said this, and I put this tweet out, and Lance had put something out, and I kind of supported what Lance said, and I agreed with 100%, is if you get a veteran guy here, you can help develop these younger guys by teaching them what it is to be a champion, what it is to be a pro receiver, one of the top in the business. Guys that they probably grew up watching. These guys, these younger guys that are, year 1, 2, 4, 5, whatever it may be, they've been watching D-Hop play. They watched and say, man, this is the key wide receiver I want to be like when I get into the NFL. And so if you had a guy like that in the room that you could talk to, you can watch how he works in practice, how he gets open, just all of that wealth of knowledge. Almost like the same thing like D-Hop learned from Andre Johnson, just watching this. I mean, that tutelage and having that is just so helpful. It helps the Chiefs in every way possible. Because what you're doing is you're imparting a knowledge and information for the guys that's going to be here in the future. So we get D-Hop here for 2 years or however it may be. You get a guy in the draft, you can develop that guy. You don't have to be ready this year. He's watching D-Hop do it, right? These younger guys are watching D-Hop do it. Or they're watching Odell do it. So now they get all that information, and the Chiefs is going to benefit tremendously just from a guy like that in the room.
Well, it's like we say, because I mean, that one of the things that we hear a lot from the Chief fans is the whole youth movement, youth. Like we said last week, it's like we already have enough youth in the room. We need someone who is, an older guy, a veteran who, is a legitimate number one receiver. And I'm not saying OBJ is a legitimate number one receiver now with all his injuries and how many times he's, how many years he's been away from the game, but like having that veteran presence around is good to have with these younger guys who really aren't used to being a professional in the game. They can learn a lot from OBJ, whether he is the same receiver he was 3 years ago or not. And D-Hop's numbers in 6 games, like we talked about last week, speaks for themselves. Just like the youth movement is okay and it's fine, but like you don't need. I mean, if we draft another receiver, fine, that's cool with me. But as long as you bring in another veteran like D-Hop or OBJ, I'd be happy.
Well, when we're talking about football, we understand that, in football, probably one of the best currencies that you can have is experience in certain positions. And so when you have a young guy who doesn't know that much and he's trying to learn the game, he's trying to learn the speed of the game, he's trying to learn, just the whole tempo, how to get open. Like things are just different from college. And so experience really, it helps you out in the NFL. And so when you have one of the most experienced guys that could come in here, one of the greatest wide receivers that played in the last 10 years to come in and help you out, man, it just works. It just absolutely works. So that's what I would look at. I would look at it as more for an investment for the guys, young guys that we can get in the draft or wherever and say, hey, look, we got guys here. Hey, teach these guys how to do things the right way. Okay. And so the question is, are these guys the right fit for what we do? Okay. Because I know it's going to be one of those things that teams have to measure about, what is the guy going to bring to the table? What does OBJ bring to the table with these young guys? Okay. What does D-Hop bring to the table with these young guys? Is the guy going to be more about himself, or is it going to be more about the team? Okay. What is he trying to do? Is he trying to push himself so he can get paid later on, or what is it? What is he trying to, establish his legacy? All those things had to come into the factor. And so my thing is, when I'm just I'm comparing the two, OBJ obviously has his injury, everybody kind of knows about, is the downfall for him. That's the thing that's going to hurt him. D-Hop, he was out 6 games last year for PEDs, and the year before that he had a little bit of an injury. So he still played 9 games, with 64 catches, 717 yards, and 3 tubs. Okay, right? I'm going to keep saying that. And that production in itself is better than any production that we have on the team right now.
Yeah.
Right? And this is 9 games.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So I just think right now, if the Chiefs are serious, and I know they're serious about trying to win another championship, why not put yourself in a position, getting the best players here to have you accomplish that?
Yeah.
So,
and I think the market has kind of helped us in a way. And it's crazy how it's been kind of a dead period. We had the Elijah Moore trade earlier, but it's been kind of dead overall in the entire league. You have amazing running backs. They're free agents still right now. Kareem Hunt's still out there. I mean, it's crazy. But the thing I wanted to mention is the fact that in the Albert Breer article, he said that that they don't think Arizona's going to get a second round pick anymore. Arizona knows that conversation ain't happening. They're looking more towards what Dallas traded Houston for Brandon Cooks, a 4th and a 6th round type package, which we can definitely do that. I think we have 2 4ths. We have multiple 7s. I think we have 1 6. So we can give a similar type deal, a 4th and a 7th for D-Hop. I think it's more the money game aspect, where in Breer's article, he says we have $10 million. We don't have actually $10 million. That $10 million that we restructured or that we gave up front to Mahomes, that went to Tranquill, Mike Edwards, Noddy, and Allegretti. We're going to get into Edwards and Tranquill later on the show, but that went to those contracts. So now we have, I think I read we have a couple $100,000 in cash right now. So it's going to need major things need to happen. And one thing is the Chris Jones extension, which will definitely free us some money this year at least, if we were to do that. And I think Jones and I think Avicii is great at doing playing ballet gymnastics with the salary cap, so we could definitely open that stuff up. I'm not worried about that. And I think when we see a Chris Jones extension, I think that's going to lend a hand as what's the next domino to fall in this whole thing.
right.
Yeah. But so you said earlier that you don't think both are going to happen, and I want to ask you. So you have Dez saying it that both could happen, and then you have Albert Breer saying that we're looking into both. So potential of it, there is potential of that, especially whatever happens. How do you think that could look if it happens? I know it's speculation. How could that look if you bring in both of them?
Oh man, shoot! If you're thinking about having OBJ and DeAndre Hopkins, I think offensively you're pretty much set. I mean, you really are. And so the thing is where, OBJ could come in and still kind of get himself healthy, kind of work around, getting into it, because he's been out for a year. You still got these young guys in here, but you're talking about 2 guys, man, that could catch any ball thrown to them, get open, crafty, still good players, still got bursts. I watched OBJ, still both of them got great hands, some of the best hands in the NFL, to be honest with you. But I mean, that'd be incredible. It would be absolutely incredible, man. I mean, the possibility what you could do offensively. Like I said, it just, it puts you in a whole different, stratosphere. There wouldn't be any question who has the best receiver core in the league. It just wouldn't. It wouldn't be. And so the thing is, defenses had to defend something like this, man. How are you going to do that? How can you do that week in and week out when you both got DeAndre Hopkins and OBJ staring at you on the other side? That's just, but I'm saying that's speculation. To me, myself, I find it hard to believe to get both. I think definitely, one is doable. Definitely OBJ is a greater possibility than DeAndre Hopkins because of what you had to give up. But my thing is, if you're actually measuring anything, qualifying everything, D-Hop will be the choice for me. So,
yeah. Yeah, OBJ, the new numbers, I think, because he's reset his market with the whole $20 million a year thing. I think he's seen what's going on out there as far as not paying anybody. And so I think he just wants anything above $5 million a year. Originally, he wanted a 2 year, 2 to 3 year, multi-year deal. But I don't know if he's going to go for just a 1 year and, kind of prove it, like a Juju type thing somewhere.
Man, I guarantee toward the end of the season, when he was talking about coming back, there was teams that was thinking about it. There's teams that were thinking about paying him that type of money. So like you said, I think now the market, if you will, I don't want to say right itself, but they've kind of been able to okay, let's set everything down from guys getting these, lucrative deals. And now all of a sudden they're starting to pay these guys, for less money, to get them cheaper.
Yeah.
Be honest, get them real. They're getting them for cheaper. And so, it's always the same thing with markets and stocks. You take advantage of, when everything is high, take advantage of when everything is low. So the market's low or, the cost is down, you go get a guy then, right? Because of the need. And so now it seems like more wide receivers are trying to get to different places because they need a home. And, man, there's a list of guys. I looked at the list, man, of free agents out there in just different positions. There's some names, man. There's some names that we heard, in the past few years. You're like, wait, there's a head scratching.
Yeah.
Quite know what it is. Like, what are guys going in and demanding and asking? Teams are just not willing to pay it, man. They're just not.
I mean, I think I looked earlier, like edge rusher, Leonard Floyd's still out there. It's like, well, I mean, look at his sack numbers the last 3 years, and he's only 32. I think because he's one of the younger ones of the edge rushers that's available. It's like I love Leonard Floyd, but I don't know how much he's asking for. I don't know what these guys are asking for, and I don't understand why teams just aren't jumping on it right now. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the question. What are these guys asking for? They coming in, teams like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We appreciate it. Come back when you got some sense.
Yeah. So
you got to tell the guys like, hey man, listen, they're not biting for this price. It's just it's where the market is right now. And so a guy who may be used to making a whole lot of money was like, well, shoot, I go ahead and I'll retire. I'll sit out this year as opposed to signing for this amount of money. And they got every right to. But that's the part of the business, man. It's part of the business. I believe this. I believe that without a doubt there's collusion going on with some of the owners. I guarantee you jokers are talking and saying, we're not signing these guys for that. I'm sure it goes in. Yeah. It happens in every market, corporations, different things about setting what price is going to be. And so why would it be any different than in the NFL?
Yeah. I can definitely see that. I mean, there's a reason why that we're seeing across the league. It's just been kind of silence. It's crazy. It's crazy how much the lack of moves. And obviously, usually the week after free agency begins, it gets silent again. You get that kind of dead period. But I feel like it's very dead. We're not hearing anything going on right now.
Dude, yeah, it's not. It's almost like eerily too silent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, man. What's going on?
I mean,
right?
And that's why these Hopkins and OBJ rumors are killing it, because it's literally the only thing that's going on in free agency. And you and I were amongst the first on this story. So the one thing with when we talk about the receiver room, two other things came in with the receiver room. So obviously Mecole Hardman, the last of the Legion of Zoom, gone. It's kind of the end of an era there. He signed with the Jets for $6.5 million. And then also in other news, you mentioned Justyn Ross earlier. Justyn Ross was for the first time in over a year. He's got videos of him running hills and stuff, looking like he's in tip top shape or getting there at least. So some good news there with Justyn Ross. But the Legion of Zoom was something because we had Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, Hardman, Byron Pringle, that was kind of the Legion of Zoom guys, and he was the last one to go elsewhere. Any thoughts on his departure?
You talking about Mecole?
Yeah, on Hardman.
I mean, look, it's part of the market. And the thing is, he had to do what's best for him. This is how this thing works. And so guys go out and try to test the market and see where everybody is and see what I can get. I know he's probably looking for maybe 8 to 10, possibly in that realm of money. Because he's seen MVS got, what was it, 10 million last year from the Chiefs? Was that 10? Something like that?
Maybe a little more.
11?
Yeah, 11, about around 11, yeah. Yeah, he got himself a deal.
Yeah, true. So he probably thought, like, man, the MVS got 11 this year. Money's going up, right? Every year the money goes up. That's how it should work. It's how the market should work. But I know he just came off of, having groin surgery. I'm sure they used that against him also too. But he was a solid player for the Chiefs. Solid player. Anytime a guy's drafted and that's their home squad, the first team, there's always going to be that love. It's always, fans and the teams watch the guy's development. Okay. And I know he said, I think on a podcast, that he didn't feel like he got the fair shake to be like the number one like he needed to. We got the opportunities. At the end of the day, he had to go out there, like you said, he had to see what was going out on the market. Yeah. And so the Chiefs gave him that option. Hey, man, yeah, let's go see what it is. So this is, Mecole, man, I can't nothing say but good things about him, man. He did a great job for the Chiefs while he was here. But as the NFL, at the end of the day, NFL is all about replacing guys. It's all about moving on. It's all about trying to get better. That's what it is. It's trying to get, what have you done for me lately? This is the type of league. Yeah. And so I think when Kadarius Toney came here, they made Mecole a little bit more expendable.
Yep.
And so they were probably thinking, hey, look, we got a guy here that's going to be able to do what Mecole does, and we're going to stay with him. It's cheaper, so we don't have to go ahead and pay Mecole that money.
Yep.
But now, man, Mecole, man, speedster. Like I said, man, they've done a lot of great things with the Chiefs. A lot of great things with the Chiefs. I don't wish you nothing but the best, man, with up here with the Jets. Yep. He's going to be a phenomenal player for him. And he's one of those guys that, he's going to be watching. I'm going to be watching and cheering for him. He was up there with the Jets. So I hope he does well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't say anything. He came out and played in the AFC Championship game. He got re-injured. I mean, you could say he risked money by playing in that game. He wasn't 100% in that game. He got nailed in that 3rd and 5 play. And then that's where he re-injured his abdominal injury. And, he risked it all for this team just to try to get us back into the Super Bowl, which we did. And, he was a part of 2 Super Bowl championships. So, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. But, man, like you said, you got 2 championships here, man. Everybody commends him for what he was able to do here in Kansas City.
Yep.
But right now, this chapter is closed, and he may come back around. We don't know.
Maybe.
Right. So,
yeah.
Jets went ahead and paid him money. So guys are like, hey, man, look, if I got a chance to go up here and be number one or do that up here with the Jets, fine, cool. Let me go up here and take my talents elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So closing the book on the Legion of Zoom. So that's well, I guess these guys, the next crop is going to have to find their own nickname, I guess.
Hey man, it's like it every year. That is the NFL, not for long.
Yeah.
Right? So these things do happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, slowly, he went from Sammy Watkins left, then Pringle, then D-Rob, and then Tyreek, and then Hardman was the last of it. But yeah, it's one of those things, especially it's crazy to see pretty much an entire receiver room for the last 2 years is gone. I mean, go from that one, and then even the receiver room we had last year is gone. Juju's gone, was here for a 1-year thing. Hardman, Watson. I mean, it's crazy, really.
Start doing like this, looking over your shoulder, looking at everybody like, oh, hold on, new faces around here.
Yeah.
Am I next? Hey, and you know what? NFL, you might well be.
Yeah.
You might well be.
and you're starting to see more 1-year deals too. So like this could be it could be a thing of the future where you're only seeing guys come and play for one team for 1 year.
Dude, that's crazy to me.
As a fan, I don't like that. I want a guy to be there for a couple of years.
Me, I think it's just kind of weird. I get it. I get like, hey, if I'm going out here 1 year and blow it up, then maybe I'll get a bigger paycheck, right? Maybe I'll do that. But I'm seeing a lot of it, man. Tight ends wise, like 1 year contracts. You get paid for the 1 year. Cool. I get that. I get that part of it. But it is almost like you're a mercenary. You're a merc.
Yeah.
Right here, you're the guy that's going to be a hired gun. Okay. The thing is, to me, back in the day, that was almost unheard of. You see guys go from team to team, and it was just like, man, I wonder what that guy's life is like.
Yeah.
With those things. But now you're starting to see it. The thing is, do you have any type of loyalty to anything but the money? That's the question. And we're not talking about guys going because getting cut or certain situations. They're going somewhere and saying, yeah, I'm just going to play a 1-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to happen? I think Brandon Cooks was a little bit different because he didn't have the teams he went to. He didn't have no choice in it.
I know.
You know what I mean? It's just like, dang, God, why is somebody getting rid of me? Why I got to be the chess piece here?
True.
Right?
Yeah, the 1-year deal is more of like it seems like more of like an NBA thing. Like the short term deal is more of an NBA thing. But I mean, I guess that's coming to us now in the NFL.
Dude, I think just continuity is important to win a championship. I do. Yeah. That's why I said, like, if you get a guy like D-Hop, get him at least for 2 years, right? Yeah. Locked in for 2 years. You're gonna have at least 2 years, and so I get that part of it. The 1 year is just kind of weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little weird. I think you have to at least 2 or 3 if you can shoot.
Do you think it's more of a player's choice, or is that a team's choice? Because like from a player's choice, you obviously want to go with the most money you're going to make. From a team's point of view, don't you kind of want you don't want a 1 year, really don't want a guy for 1 year. You kind of want a guy for unless it's like if it's a Carlos Dunlap type guy, like a veteran presence, you're coming in just to have in the room. I get that, like a Brandon Williams type, totally get it. But like a 28-year-old receiver, 27-year-old receiver, I want him for 2 to 3 years.
I think everybody has their own interest, their own motive why they do it, player and the team. I really do, because sometimes teams may want we might get a draft next year. We're here in the draft in this position, maybe coming up, or it's the same thing. Like get a veteran guy in here for 1 year. We get a guy in the draft now this year, and teach him how to what it means to be a pro. Okay, how to do these things. And then we'll let him take over, right? We want to develop him, but it's cheaper to get the guy here for 1 year and then, move him.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mutual agreement. But I think, for players, yeah, get the money up front. But if I kill it, the very next year, I'm going to hit him over the head in the market.
Yeah.
So
the salary cap's going up next year too. So, I mean.
It's going up.
I mean, these teams are saving money for what reason? I mean,
hey man, yeah, they look, just go play for this 1 year, okay? Next year we revisit this, okay? All you have to do is go out there and take care of your job, okay? Yeah. But yeah, man, it is. It's a little weird for me, especially like offense. Defense, not so much. Like you said, defensive man and stuff. Like we know, like you're coming in to brush the passer. Not too much you need to learn on defense. Sorry, defensive guys. It's just not. It's not too much you need to know on defense, right? It's just not. I keep talking about this. It's not that much. Yeah, 3-4, 4-3, okay? 5-2, you get in sets, you get blitzes, you get some twists, you get, maybe the coverages and all those things. That's it. That's it. Offense, there's several pages you got to learn. Terminology, motion, movement, personnel, some of it's, it's redundant because some teams you might go somewhere like, okay, it's, the verbiage is a little similar. Okay. You can pick it up easier, but yeah, defensive guys, hey man, I'm hiring you, go get the football. Whoever get the ball, you go get. That's it. Yeah. Right. So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, whether it's are probably, I mean, we're probably gonna see more of an influx like every year after the draft. So a lot of the big names, I wonder if they're just waiting until after the draft to see what teams didn't get the need they needed in the draft, and they pay up a little bit and a little more than what they're offering now after the draft.
Right. And think strategically, think about it like this too. You're probably having agents knowing like what big name is going to be up, right? And so let that big name set the market. So it's like, okay, well, shoot, next year, let's just say Mark Andrews is up. With George Kittle, far tight end, just speaking tight end wise. They're up. Let them set the market, okay? And we'll determine everything on what they get. They get their pay in, all right? And then you have to sit there and say, like, okay, well, if we're trying to measure what his production is what my guy's production is, he's at least given half his production. So he's getting paid half the money. Okay. So just giving you a case, maybe from negotiating standpoint. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is too, because I would think that's what the structure had to be. It had to be strategic thinking that way.
Right. Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with a lot of the big names that are out there as time goes on. And one big name. So, moving on to our next topic, Drue Tranquill was one of the big name middle linebackers in this free agency class. He was a free agent. He was their green dot linebacker. He was like a play caller on defense last year with the Los Angeles Chargers. He got a decent qualifying offer from the team before free agency. He said no, wanted to test the market. They ended up going to get Eric Kendricks. And so he's a free agent and didn't really have a big market. Comes to Kansas City, gets a 1 year, $5 million, $3 million deal with the maximum of $5 million. Wow. Coming off his best season last year, he led the Chargers in total tackles with 144. Big thing was I love the signing because Tranquill's one of those guys. When you play against the Chargers, you always saw Tranquill. You noticed him on the field.
Yeah, he was. Yes,
dude's all over the field. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people were confused. Chief fans were confused about bringing another linebacker. That's one position that we don't think we have a need in when we have Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Leo Chenal, and obviously Darius Harris, free agent, and he got a lot of playing time last year. But what do you make of this signing in an already crowded middle linebacker room?
It's another speculation. To me, it's depth. You got a guy who's a proven guy who could play football. Leading tackle on the team last year. You got him for $3 million almost, and sent him to $5 million. Is that what it was? You said 3 or 2? Was it
$3 million incentive maximum to $5 million?
Wow, that's a good. I don't want to call it a steal. That's a great contract for the Chiefs, and even for him too, because it's the same thing we were just talking about before. It's like, okay, if I come in and I sign this deal, then maybe the market the next year is going to be bigger. And then we know also too, look, Willie Gay is somebody who's going to come up to be signed. So, hey, Willie, love to have you, but if you're asking for an exorbitant amount of money, we don't have that for you. And instead of us sitting over here trying to reach around to find somebody to get a guy here and worry, there's somebody in the building who's a proven guy. So hopefully, and that's speculation. This is all speculation, man. I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but I know if you could get a guy here for that amount of money, a great player, then do it. It's just a deal that works. And so he feels good about it. Chiefs feel good about it. The ones I say who went out on this is, both parties, but the Chiefs, obviously, because you got a good player, for that amount of money. It's good. I like Drue. I like Drue a lot.
Yeah, and one thing about him, I didn't know this, but he was a safety coming out of college, and a lot of people think that with Spags' defense, we do so many varieties of things that he could play more of a box safety kind of look. I mean, he has so many different looks, so I'm sure they have plenty of ways to utilize a guy who's got versatility like this.
Yeah, I don't know if they would. I know he has that history. Question is, becoming bigger, playing safety, can he still do some things he was doing when he was a safety before, right? That's the real question. Because, I mean, you got to think about, covering guys and whatnot. But he does. He has a versatility. He has a versatility if you do that. Like you said, we got so many good guys here. Leo Chanel. And so, like you said, when you're thinking about what you could possibly do, the variety of defense that you could run. And Spags loves doing a lot of different things. He loves bringing pressure. He loves putting in a lot of different sets, different personnel in the game, just kind of throw you off. So that's what he does. He gives you some versatility.
Yeah.
That's good. So I think, man, he's looking at it like, man, come on, we could do this with this guy. You can do that with that guy. So, yeah. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting on that side of the ball this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, like we said, these guys like, it's funny when I was watching March Madness the other day, one of the college games. Tom Izzo, Michigan State, guy I covered when I worked up in Lansing. He was talking about how he calls freshmen. This is something kind of what you and I talked about. He says he calls freshmen by the 25th game of the season. He says they're not freshmen anymore; they're sophomores. He goes, by the 25th game of the season, they're sophomores, no longer freshmen. So by the time they get to March Madness, they're seasoned. They've already played a year of it. They've never done a tournament style, but they've played a year in the system, so that they're no longer freshmen anymore. It's kind of what we talked about with the young DBs and a lot of the young guys on defense. These guys, not only did they get a full season, they got a full playoffs. These guys are no longer freshmen. These guys may not even be sophomores anymore. They're more so midway through the sophomore year going into the next year. What do you think about that idea as far as the younger guys?
I like the idea. I still think time and experience gives you a little bit more of that. Like you was able to get in the playoffs. Cool. Your body still has to adjust playing that many games in 1 year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you obviously playing more games, you're doing more snaps. So based off of that, yes. Mentally, though, it's still one season. It's your first season, and you're still trying to get your bearings around you as far as like what all of this is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so after the first year is over, I think you really understand that first year is in the books. It's like, oh, okay. Well, now I know where to live in Kansas City. Now I know who to talk to. I know where to go on vacation and stuff. Like they're learning all those different things now. When you have an off season, you really deal like. So this is still a lot of firsts for them in a lot of ways, just in the experience of playing in the NFL.
Okay, I guess that definitely more to it in a professional world than a college basketball player or college football player, because really it's you're going to school, you're going to class, you're going in practice. Whereas, and being a professional, there's a lot more to it than just that.
A lot more to it. It's just a lot more to it. And it's good for him to say that and to think that. Reality is there's a lot of teams at home. You know why? Because they're inexperienced.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't let that fool you. Like, hey, you're supposed to be a sophomore. You didn't see this before. No, coach, I'm a freshman. Oh, dang, I forgot. You're right. My fault. Dang. Like, why did I think that? Right? So it sounds good to say, but guys are still developing. The guys are still learning.
Yeah.
That's why, I think there was a lot of pushback when people doing like the one and done. What are you doing? How you establish yourself? What did we see about your game that is going to translate to the NBA or the NFL? Yeah. The next season, or NBA, of course, in this, this instance. And that was the problem. Some of these guys may not have been ready.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the biggest, and I'm a huge NBA guy, and I think that's one of the biggest differences between college or NBA and NFL. Whereas you have to play the 3 years in college. You have to be a junior. You could the earliest is a junior, right?
Yes.
College. I mean, basketball. I think they're going to go back to the high school thing in a couple of years. And it's like there's a reason why teams tank to get the top 3 picks, because in every NBA draft there's maybe 3 or 5 guys who are locks to be great. Where the NFL draft, yes, it's 7 rounds, bigger teams and stuff, but like you could go all draft long. And we've seen it with the Chiefs. All draft long, you're finding guys who start on this team who will be good for this team for a while. Whereas a lot of these one and doneers, that's it. They're going to be playing in Europe and playing overseas. I mean, because it's just they didn't have what it takes to play at the ultimate level.
Right.
Because they didn't get the development, they didn't get the experience.
Development and experience, yeah, that's so important, so important. So, but I get Tom Izzo is an incredible coach. I like Tom. He does a good job up there, man. But
Fiery guy.
huh? Yes, he is. He's.
Fiery.
What did I think I seen him. Maybe there was a video of him in a fight. Was he fighting somebody?
He he gets pissed off at the refs every game, but flips out. Now he has 2 instances that I remember a couple of years back, actually, when I covered him in 2018 or 2017. He had to be held back against Aaron Henry. And they'd be held back when they call a timeout, and then when they got to the huddle, he was still yelling at him, and the players had to hold him back again.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, all the MSU guys that go to the league, like Draymond Green, they all defend Tom Izzo, say he's the best. That's the reason why he's been there for so long. And
right, man, he's a good coach. He's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, maybe it's what he's talking about. Maybe that the teams he coaches, those guys are they're no longer freshmen anymore because he's such a good coach.
Right? Yeah.
The other ones.
That's the arrogance of it. We were talking about arrogance last week. That's the arrogance of it. Yeah,
exactly.
Guys are ready. Why? Because I made them ready. Okay, yeah. I get them ready. I get them ready faster than everybody else. Okay, they're sophomores, so when they get here, they are ready. They got 2 bets now. Same time.
The one thing with the Tranquill signing, and I know a great point how Willie Gay's coming up on his contract's almost done. But another thing is just the fact that Willie Gay has missed a lot of games in his time, and having a guy like Tranquill who's been around the block. And Chenal may not be ready. He did get some playing time this year, but he didn't get that many reps to be like, you know what? If Willie Gay's out, we can put Chenal in there. Because Darius Harris was the other guy stepping up last year when Gay was out. So it's like you got Tranquill in there in case anything ever happens with Gay or Bolden. You have a guy who's been there, a green dot middle linebacker.
Absolutely, 100%. Right, and there we go back to the whole experience thing. Right, so Leo may not be ready.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, I have a guy that's ready. I had a guy that. Plug and play. He is ready to plug in and play right now.
Yeah.
Got to worry about anything. He's seasoned.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
And on top of that, he's an AFC West rival middle linebacker. I think we had a guy who you play with, Donnie Edwards, who did the opposite of that.
Yeah. Donnie left from Kansas City, went out there to San Diego, then came back to Kansas City, came back home.
Yeah.
Good to see old Donnie back. Came back, man. Yeah. Me and Donnie came in together.
Oh, you guys came in the same year together?
Yeah, 96. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Played at Senior Bowl together.
Dang. So you guys go way back.
Way back. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I saw a picture the other day on Twitter of Donnie Edwards. Guy's an age at all, dude. He has an age a day.
No. He's doing it all too, man. There's a whole lot of stuff, man. Donnie has a very interesting life. He loves traveling. He's been doing it for a number of years. Such a brilliant, intelligent guy. Jerry's just very thoughtful. Great dude, man. Great dude. So yeah.
No, I remember seeing post-game interviews with him back in the day. I seemed a very eloquent guy, very soft spoken, but just cool dude, just down to earth types.
All day.
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure I get a theme with your whole Chief crew from back in the early 2000s. All of you guys very down to earth, just good dudes. So
yeah, we try to be. We are. We all good with each other, man. We see each other, man, and we always laughing it up, reminiscing over the things that back in the day. So it's always good to see kind of like how the transition in the NFL where things are now.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of laugh when I look at some, film, somebody send me something, or maybe I was in video spiking the ball, and I see the stadium and people cheering and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is just crazy, But
a lot has changed, and also a lot hasn't changed.
A lot has changed, a lot has not. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So last topic. So last week we talked about Juan Thornhill going to Cleveland, getting his money, getting his payday. Good for him. But we had a vacancy. We didn't know it was going to be going with Brian Cook and Justin Reed, and we had 2 vacancies between Thornhill and Deion Bush, both safeties being gone. Deion Bush, huge special teamer. And Mike Edwards is a guy we signed from Tampa Bay, 26-year-old. So another, talk about the youth movement, another young guy coming in to fill the Juan Thornhill void. But Mike, huge ball, big time ball hawk. He's at least had 2 interceptions in each of his last 3 seasons in Tampa Bay. Obviously filling the void there with Thornhill being gone. But the one thing that we talked about all season long was the takeaway game. And I think by bringing a guy like Mike Edwards, who is a ball hawk type, I think it could help us out in the takeaway game. We only had 11 interceptions last year. So this guy could come in and kind of make a difference. I think we were 23rd in the league last year. So, I mean, I think a guy like that could come in and make a difference. What do you think about this signing? And is it something that you think it was a need for us with Thornhill leaving?
I think it was a good signing. I think it's a good signing because you got a guy, like you said, who's a ball hawk, who likes playing hard. UK guy, Kentucky dude.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Played at University of Kentucky.
Hey.
That's right. It's, played at University of Kentucky. Signed it, the deal, 1-year deal, right? It's a 1-year deal. Another one. And so,
same exact deal, by the way, 3 to 5.
So you bring a guy in, that means you're probably still going to draft a safety. Probably going to draft a guy. Let him learn from a guy like this. Ball hawk. Then you got 2 younger, Reed, who's kind of the wily veteran, if you want to say that, right? And Cook, who's a great safety. I think he's going to be even better, man. With him learning everything, coming up to speed, he's just going to get better and better, man. I loved him at Cincinnati. But it's a good signing. It's a good signing. The depth, got another guy who can do a lot of different things. This could be the dude like you was talking about, kind of the you put him out there and you might put him on a slot guy. I don't know. But he can do a lot of different things. And I think when you have bodies, it's the same thing. You don't have to worry about later on down the road. You address this issue right now. But I see that. I think it's kind of like where the Chiefs are going. If you're doing the 1-year deals, I'm just now thinking about this. Maybe that's what the Chiefs are doing. Maybe Chiefs are bringing guys in to develop other guys for them to get ready. Okay, right? That might be the play here. It might be the play like, okay, let's bring a guy in, see what he can do for the 1 year. If he works out well, then we think about signing him. There's guys that want to get signed. Okay, we may have to do something different with that. Can we move on from guys? Absolutely, we can do that. But if we draft guys at the position, then we can develop a draft guy. So we got Cook last year in the draft. Get another guy this year in the draft. Probably later on, I'm saying this probably one of those 6 or 7 rounders getting this safety. Help him out. But you got a whole young secondary here. Young secondary. You get a guy coming here and he's going to fit in and he's going to push these guys. I think that's what they love about it, is just his temperament. Love how he works. Love what the energy brings to the table. And that's going to be good. We was talking about before, like last week, we was talking about like not getting comfortable. These guys, you don't want these guys getting comfortable being young. You want to let them know, like, hey, man, there's people coming in to take your position. Don't ever get comfortable out here. Because if this guy's getting the job done, he's here for 1 year, we will let your butt go. We will let you go. You know what I mean? Seriously. And that's just the NFL. You got to let people know. We watching guys walk out the door. I mean, we're seeing it. Juan went out there and left. Mecole, he's gone. Saunders is gone. Dunlap is gone. So you start seeing there's some changes. There's some changes going on. There's a new linebacker in, new safety. So, yeah, man. Hey, comfort breeds what is that? What does it say? Comfort breeds complacency, maybe. I think it's what it is. Something like that. What's the quote?
Like comfort breeds complacency.
That's it. It's truth. Truth right there.
Yeah.
When you were seeing some guys that was comfortable being okay. Sometimes you got to stir it up. Sometimes as a coach, you got to look in the room and see, are they playing around? Okay, I got something for them. I'm throwing this grenade in here real quick. This flashbang, see what everybody's doing. Yeah. Okay? See if they back on their toes.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Hey, yeah, coach, we good. We're having a good time, all right? Here comes another safety. Oh, wait, I thought we was all good. No, no, y'all not. No, you not. I don't know who told y'all was all good. I'm letting each and every one of y'all know all y'all jokers out here can be replaced.
Yep.
And this guy coming in here might be able to be the one to do it. Welcome in with open arms, but you best believe everybody's trying to eat out here.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to feed their family. Everybody's trying to have a career. If you out here playing and being young and you thinking everything's okay, it's all gravy, you'll learn today. You'll learn today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, I'm just thinking these things. That was coming to my head once you was kind of talking about it. Maybe that's what it is, man. Shake the room up a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think Thornhill was fine. I just don't think the he got paid. You got paid a good amount. I think if you look at what he brought, and then you look at what Mike Edwards has brought as far as like, being the playmaker, the safety spot. With how much the disparity in what they're making, it's like, I think we're not losing that much with the two guys, and we're paying him 3 years, $3 million for 1 year.
Yeah, no, not at all. You went out on that, of course, but Juan was a good safety, man. He's a good safety here.
Yeah, he was.
That thing is like, but it is. It's like, hey, if I could get the same production or somewhere close to it,
yeah,
at least less amount of money, we're going with a cheap one.
Yeah, I think Juan part of 2 Super Bowls. Mike Edwards part of 1 Super Bowl, so he is a vet, but he also has that Super Bowl experience as well coming into that young safety room.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's important. It's very important. It's very important.
Yeah, and then also we talked about before, but if this is a Mike Edwards 1 year deal to help coach the rookies, if we do draft a young guy. They are saying it's one of the best rookie safety classes in a really, really long time. So we could probably find a gem, a Brett Veach type gem later on in the draft, and Mike Edwards could coach him up.
Man, I always think about this, man. Whenever guys in the facility and you watch a guy walk in the room, you're always looking at what he looks like, his body type. You're like, man, who is this walking in? Is that another tight end, or was that a defense man? Who was that? And someone's out there running all fast and jumping up and catching. I'm like, okay, man, shoot, hey, they here to replace you. Now they here to replace you. So, all fun and games, man, until it gets real. When somebody comes in and they start looking like you, as far as your body type, start realizing that maybe everybody ain't as happy as they thought they were.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So when you were playing with the Chiefs, would you watch the draft every year? And like with that in mind, like, are they drafting our tight end? Like when they drafted Chris Willis, we're like, oh man, we're bringing another one in. Like, no.
I never watched the draft.
Really?
No. I didn't.
Oh wow.
Shoot, I didn't worry about it because I know I was going to work, so it didn't matter who he was bringing in. I knew when it came. Turn the lights on, come out. I'm going to work.
Yeah.
I know wasn't a whole lot of things people can do what I could do.
That's true. It still stands till today. So
yeah, man, you can create a niche for yourself, and that's what I was out there. I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna be hard to replace me. You make it harder before you replace them. Make it hard. That's what you do. You want to stay in the NFL or any job, you make it hard for them to replace you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I always say what makes guys expendable is making more money. Right? We're starting to see it there. We're seeing guys. There's a lot of guys I see on this list who had no idea that their last time playing football would have been this last season. It's going to be some guys, man. There's going to be some guys that's not going to be getting paid. It's going to be sitting on the sidelines or may have to go somewhere else to go play.
Yeah.
Like, the USFL, the XFL, that if you love the game, man, if you love it, then you'll do it because you love the game.
Yeah.
But if you're going out here trying to demand $15 million or something, he was like, man, we ain't playing. No, sorry. No, thank you.
Well, that's why I think it's funny when I think about like how the whole Frank Clark thing happened. We wanted him to restructure. He said no. And I'm curious how that's going as far as, because based on the market, based on people not paying anybody, I'm curious how that restructure would have worked and how much he's asking for and how much they're saying no, we're not going to do that.
I don't know. I just know Frank Clark is not here.
Yeah.
And I told you it was going to happen like that. It was the answer. When Veach gave that answer up at the podium, I said, "Oh, I know exactly what that is."
Mm-hmm.
We have a number in mind. He's nowhere near it. Then we'll have to part ways.
Yeah.
Gonna be, friendly, and we'll hug it out. But it's business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
a cutthroat business at that.
Cutthroat, man. This is the NFL, baby. Hey, look, this is a performance business. If you're not performing with that type of money, there's no way they're going to pay you.
Yeah.
So that was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh, but that's the reality of the NFL. That's reality.
Well, and I think it's and like kind of what you said. It's like with any business, the more money you make, the more you got eyes on you, and you're under a microscope, big time.
Yeah, right.
So, and that's especially it's going to happen in the NFL when everyone thinks they're a GM. You have a million nerds on Twitter thinking they know ball. Like, look at him, he's not running up the field fast enough to tackle that guy.
Yeah,
don't pay him, cut him.
Right, let him go. Dang God, okay. Just like that, yeah. He just did. He didn't cut it. He didn't make that tackle. Jeez, you're gonna get rid of him that quick. All right.
Yeah, there's plenty of those on Twitter. I think our viewers and our listeners know some of the ones I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But all right, well that does it for us. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns presented by BetOnline. We'll see you guys next week as we continue. Hopefully, we're talking about DeAndre Hopkins' fit and not really talking about the next tweet that's going to be liked by Mahomes or Kelce next week.
Right. They had to watch themselves. Patrick be like, Pat, listen, you can't do that, Pat. You're giving your hand up. You can't give your hand up. You can't let everybody know what we're thinking. All right.
It's weird that was the one where Des said both of them is the one he unliked, but he left the Charles Amenahu one up, the one where he said, D-Hop, let's get it or whatever. That's the only one he kept up. The other one he got rid of, which is interesting.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm supporting my teammate, Charles, right? I'm trying to get him here. No problem. I like D-Hop being here. But Des, we're going to get both of them. Don't do that, Pat. Oh, okay.
Do you think that was a Veach thing telling him, hey, yo, delete that? Like, I mean, someone did, right?
Yeah, somebody told him. Somebody, I promise you, somebody told him. Yeah.
Gosh, that's like the extra level of the NFL just being just like crazy in a way, and just it's so like it's like a game of chess. You don't want to give, like you said, you don't want to let your hand be known.
No, not at all, man. Look, I had so yesterday, and I was on a panel with Ted Cruz, executive vice president of communications with the Chiefs, man. And I said, met him, had a great time meeting up and talking. I told Ted, I said, man, y'all doing a wonderful job with the Chiefs and the communication and things of that nature. Hold things at bay, but actually, just how they are in the community and really the entire world, man. So hats off to him for the job he's doing. I know it's kind of behind the scenes type of guy, but he's doing an excellent job, a wonderful job. But yeah, man, when we talk about football things, especially before the draft, nobody wants everybody to know what they're doing, what their strategy is. And so, support.
Yeah, so Pat, be careful with what tweets you like. And I'm upset that he has not liked any of our D-Hop and PM15 images that we keep posting.
That's all right.
He will at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.